Hello, and welcome to Millennial Anti-Terrorizers. And today we're going to be talking America's retaliation towards Iran's nuclear program. So, guys, we all know that Iran and the United States have been kind of enemies since 1980 when they had their revolution and their takeover. And now we have the Iranian regime. We know that they have been building up their nuclear program. And as of this week, we bombed their nuclear program with bunker busters. And we know that we have retaliated in the past with Iran with force directly. But mainly, we also know that the Iranians have been using proxy forces to really fight us since the 1980s. So, Beth, what are your thoughts of them using their tactics of proxy wars and whatnot?
If you're talking about like when we hit them, I think that's a genius move because having those nuclear weapons was kind of like the initial look at of like World War III. So I could see that going bad. So the way our tactics about how we went about it without any casualties, I think is the probably smartest thing we could do because no bodies, but just eliminating the process of what could start the biggest war. I think it was probably the smartest thing to do, especially how they went in undetected, protecting themselves, but also protecting their people as well, and not like trying to eliminate even just the enemy itself. So I think that's a big sign, or not even a sign, but just like it's a big part of like who we are. We're trying to be the example and not be just the retaliating person. Like you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you, kind of thing. We're just trying to eliminate all and create peace.
Okay. How about you, Brody? What do you feel about us just busting up their nuclear program with some busters?
I mean, I was super happy and excited, overjoyed. Fuck yes. Make no mistake, Iran is an enemy. There's going to be a bunch of people that are going to start standing with Iran and all this kind of shit. They would fucking wipe out America if they get the chance. So I don't know about you guys, but I was super excited that we finally have someone, you know, POTUS fucking stepping up and actually wanting to do something about this. So, yeah, I don't know. I think as far as them retaliating back, like they shot all those missiles at Qatar, and then we intercepted every single one of them. I think it was 14 missiles. We intercepted 13 of them, and then the 14th one was so off target, we were just like, just let that one hit somewhere in the mountains. That shit was great. But yeah, no, they're talking about like the Oman Pass and shutting that down, turning off the oil to the rest of the world. Most of that oil doesn't go to the U.S. It goes to like Japan and other stuff.
China.
So it's just gonna piss off the world more. So I don't know. They're so fucking retarded, and I maybe that's politically incorrect, but they're fucking retarded on how they're trying to do anything in this goddamn world. They're Iran's fucking full of hate. Fuck those guys. I wish we would have dropped more nukes, like a fucking just one nuke on Iran. It's just been a problem forever. So, okay, that aside, you know, diplomatically, I think that we had to show them that they just can't become a superpower with bad intentions and how they're trying to affect the world. Because I'm sorry to say, like, I don't want to bring up religion too much, but uh, it feels like the extremism over there is a lot different than people would say about the Nation of Islam or whatever, because you can take anything out of context. And so I don't know, that area has just been a fucking nightmare of the world forever. And we had to do something. Like, them building a nuclear arsenal is detrimental to the entire world, not just the US. Okay? So strategically taking it out with minimal casualties was the absolute right decision. And it was very surreal watching the what is that, nation address, or I can't remember what it's
Yeah.
called, but
Mhm.
when the president says something on TV or whatever. But so earlier in the day, me and my son who's here, he was in the Space Force. You know, we're sitting there and we heard about Iran, and it's like, holy shit. You know, as a parent of someone in the military now, it's more real to me because now that my son's in the military. So, but we watched the nation address, you know, together, and hearing Trump basically flex nuts was so fucking refreshing. Like, that dude has the biggest nuts out of any president that I've seen in a long time. Not afraid to take action, but you know, within a half hour, my son's getting like phone calls from his NCO, you know, making sure that communication is good and shit. And it's like, damn, okay. You know, it's no longer my fight. But I know I can do what I can with my own voting. If it ever happens to our shores or something like that, you know, I'll still be standing up. I'm sure you guys will be too.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, the attacks that we made can just shut this shit down, which I think it did. Shit, I feel like I'm rambling. I kind of lost myself there.
How about you, Alex? How about you, Alex? What are your thoughts about with Iran and us busting them up with their nuclear program with some bunker busters?
I'm just gonna wait for me to get my job back.
Wait to get your job back.
Yeah, it might be getting my job back. I don't know. Shit.
That's what I mean, right?
Fucking shit or get off the pot is all I'm saying.
Right.
It's always one thing after another. If it ain't, you know, it was what, Russia and Ukraine, and then some other bullshit, and then, you know, Israel and Pakistan, now this shit. So it's like, I don't really pay attention to the news or what's on media. I just wait for someone to tell me about it, and then when I hear what's going on, I just go, it's just, you know, you'll see stuff at the store when people come pay for their shit. You're like, oh, hey, you want to donate some, yeah, like you guys saying earlier, you know, want to donate some money to fucking Iran and help them out because you don't have those people.
I build it.
So basically, what you're saying is you're a sleeper cell. You're just waiting for fucking,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Just waiting for that
I already
call.
know it. I already
Punch
know
that
it. I just
ticket.
don't know the code to unlock it. So it's like, fuck. Guess I just got to wait for that, you know, 900 number. Be like fucking all the troopers in Star Wars, the Order 60, you know, it'd be like Order 66 or some shit.
Yeah.
Just take over.
That's funny.
I still got most of my gear. I just need the firearms, you know, when it comes down to that. I got my gear on me though.
Right.
So
I still got my
I guess I'll
uniforms
just
too.
right. I'll just scavenge what's in the streets, you know.
All right. So yes, we use bunker busters on them, but what I was trying to get a little bit towards was the proxy wars. So, you know, for 45 years, Iran has been funding terrorist organizations,
Yeah.
and a lot of these terrorist organizations has harmed us. Some of these you might remember as the Taliban. Some of you might remember as the Shiite militia in Iraq, to where they supplied them with shape charge explosive devices. And they started putting these shape charges at the turret level on the Humvees, so that way they could blast through the reactive armor and get the gunners. And they also put them on the driver's doors, so that way they would hit the driver or passenger doors and kill the VC or the driver, vehicle commander for VC. That is one thing they did with munitions. They did training. They fed them. They hid them. You know, Iran was right between Afghanistan and Iraq. So there was a lot of different shit they did for our wars, and also before we even got in the 1980s and the 1990s. So what are your guys' thoughts of them using tactics like that, Beth, to where they're they've been for 45 years been paying for other people to harm us? What does that make you feel knowing that we finally struck?
It just makes me think they finally care enough to do something about it versus, I guess the word gaslight is maybe I'm looking for. Oh, we're spending this money because we're trying to protect US or our soldiers or military, whatever. But in reality, we're the ones going out there and they're paying them to kill us. So it's kind of like people aren't getting the full information and it's really just putting us in harm's way to make, I think, our government system look good, even though they don't want us around. So the fact that Trump went and did this with no casualties on either side was a big step, or what's the word I'm looking for? It's just like that's the image we need to start showing for America. Stop retaliating with deaths, but retaliate and just eliminating what the actual problem is, and just don't harm anybody, because I think that makes us look like the bigger person. It's like we are the leaders. We need to set the example and not keep on killing and just retaliating the same way they're retaliating back, because that's where I think the problem is why this war's been going on so long. All we do is just kill each other, and yet there's no end solution. So by taking out what was the problem, it actually just they can't do anything about it now.
Yeah.
Alex? I'm sorry, Brody's next, as you were.
Brody, what do you think about the proxy wars and the indirect way that they've been poking at us for 45 years, and now we finally retaliated?
Well, I mean, being in our wars, Iraq, Afghanistan, I mean, I know you guys seen, like, you know, you'd shoot a guy, go check his wallet. It's like, oh, it was Turkey or Iran or Uzbekistan, or like, I mean, you could see they just hired freedom fighters from other countries. So I know for a fact that the proxy whole stuff is real. Yeah, I remember when they started putting the shape charges or the IEDs, you know, higher up. They wanted to try to topple the MRAPs, because an MRAP rollover is probably like more deadlier than actually getting hit by an RPG. So I seen all of that. I seen it, and I get it. I get proxy wars. It has to happen. You can't just go all out, you know, declaring war left and right. We don't need a World War III. But at the same time, it so like I'm probably a warmonger. Like I just want to go in, like do the imperial thing, like just eradicate all the rebels type shit. You know, like I don't fuck around. If we're gonna go fuck around, let's just go all out. You know, full invade.
Right.
And it always used to piss me the fuck off when we'd see like the Taliban escaped into Pakistan, and we can't go after them because it's in Pakistan, and it's off limits to go into Pakistan. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? You know, like we know where the enemy is, but we can't go in there because of international treaty laws and diplomatic bullshit. I don't know. As a fucking just regular Joe, I fucking hate that shit. It really pissed me off that we couldn't do the job that we're meant to do. So to end proxy wars, I don't think that'll ever end. I don't know what we should do for proxy wars. I mean, it's a part of just the international climate of war in general. I'm just, like I said, I'm just over the moon that we have a president that actually did something. You go back and look at all the other presidents or all the sanctions and stuff, stupid crap that we did that didn't make a difference. This, just like Beth said, targeted the exact problem and took it out. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Alex, what do you think?
oh, is Alex turn? Go ahead, Alex.
Yep, Alex hasn't spoken. What do you think, buddy? You think it was the
No,
right thing?
just see that's like Brody was saying, you know, when you have fucking enemies that can just hide away and go into another country and work that limits us, it's like, you know, what was I gonna say about that? It's like now you're putting restrictions on warfare to a degree where it's like you can't even condone the warfare properly, and that's why they keep getting away and rebuilding themselves and getting their numbers and shit, because it's like, well, they're fucking hiding out in the fucking country that they won't let us go through because of bureaucratic bullshit. Then, you know, you start looking at that country as, okay, dude, if you guys are going to fucking sanction them and enable them to do that, then you know, we're looking at you as part of the problem. You know, and because a lot of people to keep in mind, it's not just the United States going over there. It, you know, it's the global war on terrorism. A lot of other countries were involved in it because they were also subjected to terrorist attacks in their countries as well in the early 2000s, not just America. So it
Yeah.
was like, um, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I almost feel like that should have been labeled, you know, that right there. You know, you're just trying to disguise World War III, because that right there is like pinnacle of World War III right there. You got the entire fucking world going after one fucking group or organization or army off of the acts of what they've done. But now with what's going on, it's kind of like, you know, there's already a couple other conflicts going on and shit, and one that's kind of like on standby. Now we got this going on, so it's like, uh, you know, the way that they're doing it, like we're saying, where you know, the individuals that we were fighting weren't necessarily those that were from that country. They were from fucking all over the world that just wanted to come fight because they wanted to fight Americans or French soldiers or fucking British or whoever. You know, yeah, if you're gonna pay someone because they don't got in their country much going on for them, and oh shit, all I gotta do is go fight for you, and you'll give me however X amount of money. You know, that's mercenary work right there.
Yeah.
That's where I wouldn't be trusting a nation or anybody that's fighting for money if you ain't fighting for your country or the people in your fucking unit. You know, your brothers and sisters next to you. You know, anyone. We'll probably reach another topic later on, but you know, that was one of those things when they ask you what you fucking serve for. Furthest thing from my mind was always fucking the benefits. It was, nah, dude, doing it for the patriotism, doing it for country,
Yeah.
you know. But when you're paid and hired to do it, shit, you know, I don't know. Like maybe Trump might turn around and sit there and be like, hey, why don't you come fight for us? I'll give you like $100 more, and you won't have to live out in the dirt in the mountains. You get the
Right?
3 square meals a day, baby. Clean showers. Make a whole division just for you guys. Make it a certain branch of the military. American
That's
Foreign
smart.
Legion. Join the American Foreign Legion.
I
You get
like
your
that.
papers. What, you want your citizenship? You get your papers and shit.
This
I was
isn't how
thinking
it works.
about doing that with French. France has got their French Foreign Legion going on. I was thinking about doing that myself, man. Shoot, got like about 2 more years to make that decision. I think before I'm too old.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You should do it, Alex.
That's some hard shit going in the French Foreign Legion. Get back on topic with Iran. So Iran has been funding the rocket attacks out of Gaza. They've been funding Hezbollah out of Lebanon. They have had their own troops in Syria. I don't know. I think it was they were fighting for Assad family in Syria with the Russians. Iran wants to keep Russia and China happy because they have been supplying them, along with North Korea, they have been supplying them with weapon systems. These guys, have been chanting death to America since I was a little kid, burning our flags on the media, on news or whatever. And, I'm not surprised this happened. And when people hear that Israel is our greatest ally in the Middle East, they have to understand that the turmoil in the Middle East will continue because there is such a high percentage of those that are the exact opposite of the rest of society. And when I mean the rest of society, I mean that the rest of society has certain laws in effect to where you don't need three male witnesses to prove it's rape in one country, for instance. Something
Mhm.
bullshit like that. Or you could stone your daughter for not marrying whoever you told her to marry when she's at such a young age. These things don't normally happen in South America, Central America, North America, Europe, and a lot of places in Asia. So for it to happen, it's just something that's sad. And we're at this crossroad to where now we had to use bunker busters to make sure another Muslim country does not have the nuclear weapons like Pakistan. And Pakistan got those from China to keep India in check. So proxy wars right there, there's always going to be proxy wars like Brody was talking about. And what Brody was talking about, I can 100% agree with that. If you're going to do a war, do it all out. None of these restrictions. And if you're going to be in war, you wear a uniform. And if you don't wear a uniform, then you're a terrorist. You're a spy. You should be shot on the spot. The reason why is because there's rules in war. There's honor in war. And there is no honor wearing civilian attire trying to hit soft targets like they've been doing for decade after decade after decade.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching Millennial Anti-Terrorizers, and that's our little discussion today on Iran.